The esports queen just got a lot stronger. How's it going, everybody? Force here, and today we're going to talk about D.Va and how with the upcoming changes to her kits, she's a lot better than she has been in the past. Now, D.Va has always kind of been more of a harasser than a tank, in some ways similar to Winston. She uses her mobility to quickly get back to those annoying backline harassers like Hanzo and Widowmaker, for example. You jump on top of them, you shoot them in the face, and then you move on to your next objective. Now, the biggest problem with her, though, is that, again, she hasn't been much of a tank. Her survivability has actually been pretty garbage. Even with 500 health, most of which is armor, she has a giant hitbox, and her head hitbox, where people can get criticals, is tremendously large, the entire size of her front visor. So she's been easy to burst down, and she just soaks up way too much damage, feeding into enemies' ultimates, essentially. Now, the main problem was that her saving grace, which is defense matrix, has a 10-second cooldown. So basically what would happen is you would pop it, and then the enemies would just stop shooting at you. They would ignore you. They'd start shooting somebody else, and there really wasn't anything that you could do. And then as soon as your defense matrix went away, they'd turn around and they'd melt you in a matter of seconds. This has been D.Va's biggest issue up until now. However, with these new changes, defense matrix makes her much tankier, able to absorb a lot of damage for herself and as well as her team. Basically, defense matrix is now tied to a meter that fills up over time, and as long as that meter is available, defense matrix can be toggled on and off. So now it isn't the case that you can pop defense matrix, everyone ignores you, and then they turn around and start shooting at you again. If you activate your defense matrix and they stop shooting you, you can just toggle it off, and then when they start shooting you again, you put it back on right away, because now it only has a 1-second cooldown, as well as being tied to the meter. What this does, though, is it makes it so that you can much more liberally block enemy fire, toggling it on and off, and when they're not firing you, letting it recharge. This lets D.Va much more easily defend herself when she's harassing enemies, or it just lets her actually play a little bit of a frontline role. Now, we're not going to pretend for a moment here that she will be replacing Reinhardt, because that will not happen. His shield is way too strong, and it's up much longer than D.Va's defense matrix can possibly be, but it does let her supplement that role and get up in the front, absorb a bunch of fire, and then move on to what she's traditionally used for, which is the harassing of those backline, lighter targets. But she's just much tankier, and she's much more of a tank now than she's ever been. To top it off, her ultimate has gotten much better as well. It now charges 15% faster, it explodes after 3 seconds instead of 4 seconds, and it doesn't damage her. So what this means is you're gonna have your ultimate a lot more often, and because it goes off quicker, it's much more likely to land kills. In my practice time with D.Va on the PTR, I was consistently getting 1, 2, and sometimes 3 kills with her ultimate, whereas in the past, I felt like I never, ever saw anybody die to D.Va's ultimate, except for way back when in the beta. Nowadays, those 4 seconds is way more than enough time for people to dodge it. So it going down to 3 makes it more likely to land and puts it more in line with the ultimates of many of the other heroes in this game. All around, D.Va has gotten much better, and I think she's going to fill Blizzard's plan for her. We still don't have a sort of supplement or replacement for Reinhardt. Reinhardt will always be the team's tank. He will be the go-to person to protect your team and help guide the payload towards the objective. But to have someone as a supplemental tank, as an off tank, that's much more effective, and now because of D.Va's new defense matrix, she can actually help protect the team, whereas in the past, it was basically pointless. You'd pop it, everyone would stop firing in your direction, and then since it goes on a 10-second cooldown, they would blow you up and they would keep attacking your team. Now, whenever enemies fire at you, you can toggle it on and off. It makes it much more likely that you're going to be able to absorb ultimates, preventing Pharah's ultimate from destroying your team. Heck, even I've absorbed some of Zarya's ultimates in just my games this afternoon. I mean, it's just a lot better, it's much more active, and you're much better at preventing damage now, which again is what she was lacking in the past. Now, I've seen a lot of questions about her damage, people wondering if she does more damage now. No, none of that has changed. The only changes she's seeing is to her defense matrix and to her ultimates. Besides that, she's the same as she's always been, but they don't want to ramp up her damage too much because then she might get out of hand. As it stands, when I get right up on a target, I'm able to DPS them down pretty quickly, so they just don't want to make her too crazy. And I think right now she's in a much better place. case, I'm gonna be interested to see how many people end up picking up D.Va and playing her in regular comps. Maybe instead of a Zarya or instead of a Winston, maybe D.Va will start being thrown into the mix. I mean, let's be honest here. D.Va has much better ultimate kill potential than Winston does. How often you see Winston score a kill with his ultimate? In many ways, his ultimate seems just like extra health for him, and that's basically it, which is good in and of itself and does make him tankier, but I think D.Va has a chance now. I think there's a decent chance that she will be included more often than she has been in the past. All right, guys, that is gonna do it for me here today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please let me know what you think about D.Va's changes, about this video in the comment section below. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. As always, hope you all have a fantastic afternoon, and until next time, I'll see you later.